All right, let's explain the spiritual dark side of things that run this world, that reflect through the triangle that we're shown on the dark side of the moon, that create this 10% of visual reality that we live in. And the rulers of darkness, we're told, create these rules, boundaries, and limitations. And they have the image given life, the TV, the radio, the printing press, and all those things to help mold what's good and bad, what's satanic, what's Jesus, what's Muslim, what's whatever. Okay, so as they have all these dividing lights, they divide and conquer the population. And so as some of us go outside this spectrum provided, and we go into that triangle, that triangle, and we're cast down to the ground and go into that darkness. And that single eye is that single light going into the darkness, exploring on one level. And then when you do, you're not part of that group over there, and you don't shine like them, and you're not part of their physical group, and whatever else. So as all these things are playing out, this dark side of the moon, okay, that shines through into our world, that makes up the 10% of our reality. 90% is created by what we don't see, okay? So this 90% what we don't see on the physical level, okay, we have different attunements that each person is born with. Some are born with more than others, and whatever. We can see this on a physical level as far as how fast you can run or how much you can lift, and people have been doing it for this long or that long, or this substance, that substance. We can see all types of different carnal exchanges, but we also have this stuff as far as a mental exchange as well, to where you may have the retard doesn't know he's retarded necessarily. So that's where, like, these people, they don't know that there's this other level of human among them, or kind of thing. So that's where you kind of have the beast man being created, to where you have the chimpanzee is 98% man, has a learning capability of a 5-year-old. Well, we have that learning capability of basically a 7-year-old, because we're developed by the age of 7. So that's where we're 2 years more advanced than a chimp. Well, that's where the people, well, they're taking out blood from the mothers that affects the babies during the pregnancy, and then they say, well, the baby's due on this date, so let's schedule it for this and this or whatever. But none of the babies are ready when they're coming out. The mom never, I never hear stories of the moms going into labor anymore. So this light is being taken out in different ways, shapes, and forms. And this new man, this building the third temple without hands, has been done. And as it's been done, everything's been kind of like put on a clean slate, and now it's going to be rebuilt. So, so as some of us are able to understand these dark sentences and these things that run this world, this is where we can tap into what's being said on one level, and we hear something completely different. Or we can see something and we tap into something completely different. And one good example of this that we grew up with in the 80s and such was Siskel and Ebert. And I knew, watching as a kid this show, I would see a show or whatever, and then I would see them talk to me, how in the hell are they getting all that out of that? All right, I just thought it was amazing that these guys are watching this show, and they anyways, be like that. But we're kind of all shown these things back in the day, in the good old days, and we're all born at a certain point in time to connect these points in time together, and we're all fed and programmed and downloaded different times and things. And Generation X, you just happen to be born in certain times, and if you go into certain churches or certain schools at certain time frames and such, like there was, like, my school was one of the schools that did the Channel 1. And going back, there was 4 schools they did tests on, and then not many more after that, but it was where Anderson Cooper got his thing. But we were fed the war, the Gulf War, or whatever, Desert Storm, which one was in the 90s. Anyways, we were fed that war every day. We saw the Clinton scandal. We had to watch it every day in homeroom. So this is kind of where we're different tests in different areas are being shown, different things to gather up an elect group that's coming, or something with, however they're all working the machine, because they've been keeping track of every freaking kid and all this stuff for a while. So and we've all been given a number, the social security number, and another number, and whatever else. So this is where we can all be kind of in Cade Ultra on one shape, form, and level, and whatever, but it's all there to get us into that. We can all see it through the projection, okay? It shouldn't be any secret at this point. That's just like a hardcore form. And then the aliens, the illegal aliens are here to prepare you in the mind and get your mind ready and prepared to accept the aliens upon you, and all these things that we've been tying in as you're all these alien creatures and whatever else. They've been telling you that aliens been running the world for a long time, but they don't teach you in the right way. They teach you shapeshifter way and all this other shit, but that's actually just signs for them. Speaking too fast. The signs for these people putting on mask or blackface or whatever else, where you have one person doing the role of 5 people or whatever. So the dark sentencing, this is just merely the only way I'm able, me particularly, I'm only able to do these things because I've had these dreams and visions in 2020 and 2021, but on one aspect, and then I have always sought after this information up until that point, since I can remember pretty much. And also, I've been looking for these things, I've been waiting for these things, and there's multiple aspects as far as what I'm doing on my own personal level, but the things that I'm tapping into now, the only way I'm able to do that is because since these things have happened, I have created a legend and a matrix, basically, that helps me create a web in my mind that connects all these things, like when I see them or whatever. So as I've connected the legend, I'm able to bing, 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 and it connects to here, 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 and then boom, 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 boom. So in order for me to catch up on, I can hear, well, now the AI is here and whatever else, there's different ways of tapping in, but it shows me what I need to know as far as one aspect, but I also have to have the intelligence to see the underlying signs and whatever else to tap onto it, but also I don't necessarily have to tap onto it to know that underlying sign, to know what the video is saying or whatever. Anyway, it all depends on where I'm going with whatever I'm trying to figure out on whatever level of game I'm playing at that moment, but I'm just kind of connecting the whole fucking thing at the moment so I can do whatever the fuck I want with it, is basically what I say about it. But so either way, that's where we're at, man. That's the dark speak. It's just tapping into what is being said. But you can do this in your own life, because this is where the coincidence and shit happen, to where something is said, something is happening, and then you have to have the consciousness to learn how to put together how these things work and connect in our reality, because what we say does send out vibrations to bring things back. What we do does send vibrations to bring things back. So that's where we're living now, and seeing how these people are downloaded and watching this, that, and the other, what they've seen, this, that, and the other. All these things are going into the mind and into the body, and when we create the seed, and go, then we download everything that we've ever known into this program that we're sending into the next realm, which is your offspring, and then they are prepared for this thing now, and we hold them back instead of pushing them forward. Okay, so we're in an age now where we're going to start pushing our kids forward instead of holding them back. So this is where the window into heaven's being given to these kids, and some of them are being raised in full-blown internet and all this. This is where they're not being given like any rules, boundaries, or limitations in one way, and no one's telling them they're going to be hell's coming for them and all this other shit. Okay, so everybody, all these kids who have been told they're going to burn for eternity after they die, that is child abuse. Okay, how do I know? Because I've lived through it, and I remember crying many nights as a child, thinking I was going to burn when I died. And on top of it, growing up in a Baptist church, I used to have dark spirits, so-called Darth Vader and shit, stand over my bed at night. So this is where I've been exposed to the dark side from the very early age. I've seen orbs in the sky around age 5, very early age. I went to the church from the time I can remember. I remember picking my nose, eating my boogers behind my mom's chair in the Sunday school as a child. So I remember. So I remember crying that night, asking my mom, I need Jesus because I don't want to burn. It's full-blown child abuse, and that's what you're talking about when he's hanging the child over the fire. He's going to kill his own kid and all this other stuff. And take it back. Well, he's not going to burn you if you ask a question. If you ask him into your heart. You got to live your life for him. If you don't live your life for him, you lose your virginity too long or whatever, too early or whatever else going on. How can he forgive you? All this shit, dude, all this stuff they're putting in, it's mental fucks, man. It's just, I mean, what were we put through? Think about it, y'all. What were we put through as far as mental abuse and mental torture through the church, through our so-called fucking society and stuff, as far as on that level?